Start the
kids
pod.
and for
Sorry, we had a lot of
they're
technical
competing
difficulties.
against
We're doing the
Australians,
debate
and that's why
again.
We've got the problem that we have. What do we do about it? Well, we've said
And
that we want
Ali's
to
sick and Miss Love's on the
increase
toilet.
supply
Shut up.
of housing.
Don't complain that it's a
So
me and
we
Miss
can
Love
put
episode.
$5
Stop
billion
whining.
into working with councils.
Welcome to the
and creating
podcast.
500,000 new lots. That brings the
The
supply
madness
of housing on, which is
ensues.
really important
The madness
because
ensues.
The CFMEU has really crunched the construction
Yeah,
costs
where were we?
and the building rate in our country. We can reduce demand by cutting migration, which we're committed to doing, and we can provide support to young people either through first home buyers, or the Prime Minister made reference to the 5% deposit. That was actually a coalition policy.
Okay.
And we continue that because it's an important part of getting kids into home ownership.
That's your time, Mr. Dunn. Thank you.
So, Mr. Dutton, both of you have been promising
All right, there we go.
housing
That works.
policies which focus almost exclusively on supply. I want to ask you about the tax treatment of investment, not negative gearing, but the capital gains tax discount that the Howard government introduced. Economists say that working with negative gearing has exacerbated the problem. Will you have a look at the CGT discount if you get in the government?
Phil,
Wow, I can't believe that they're asking that on Channel 9. Especially the guy from the Fin Review. Jesus Christ, like that man sitting there and saying, what do you think about capital gains and negative gearing and cutting that? That is really... I have no idea why the press is doing a tolerable job this time around. It's really strange to me.
Damn it, I can't hear it.
You can't? You could before, right? Well, just look, where these?
Do these what?
No, you shouldn't be able to hear because I paused it.
Oh.
we're not going to
For
change the
Christ's
CGT
sakes.
discount.
Oh my God, we've got like 3 seconds of this debate left.
As every political commentator's pointed
This is
out, can
fucked.
reform government along with Adam.
Okay.
Bank,
This is the greatest debate analysis of all time. Miss Love, Jordan, Ali is away, sick, possibly from a stomachache. Get minute-to-minute analysis. And we mean minute-to-minute. We came in about 6/8 of the way in.
The coalition is that they said that prior to the last election, and we've made no changes to negative gearing or capital gains tax. The proof is in the pudding.
Why was it a good idea for two elections in a row and not now?
We're in government, and what we are concentrating on is supply. We won't be making the changes that you suggest because we're concerned that it would have a negative impact on supply and would push up rents. That is why.
Nah, come on. All right. I'm calling a furphy there. Look, Anthony Albanese needs to say something to defend the fact that they're not putting out capital gains and negative gearing because they know that the electorate is going to just knock their heads off. So he has to say something, which is that like we think that it would, impact supply. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would. It absolutely would for rent. That's true. He's right about that. But for buying a house, no. But I will also, in his defence, in the classic Labor simp way that I am, cutting capital gains and negative gearing, the damage is done.
Yeah.
You know, it will have an impact on housing prices, but it's no way going to have an impact on them in the immediate future.
You know what's a good metaphor?
What?
Too bad she, in brackets, the Australian public, won't live.
Yes.
But then again, who does?
I don't know why it's a good meme.
No.
It's not a good metaphor.
It's a good metaphor.
Why?
We're all going to die.
What's the point of watching this debate? There's surely better things we could be doing with our lives than commenting on a boring debate where they've said the same thing 3 times already.
Shit.
That numbers weren't going to go up. And the figures, Peter has the gold and silver medal for the most number of visas that have been issued by any migration minister.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Albo on the prowl. He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
That is just...
Tell him, Albo.
The numbers were always going to go up when the borders opened.
Yes,
after
he's
COVID,
got all the
because
points.
Australian
Go, son.
Citizens were coming home.
Yeah, he's killing
That
it.
is something that had an effect on the NOM, and that's why we've intervened to restrict student numbers and getting those numbers down. Peter needs to identify which visa categories are going to be restricted
Exactly.
in what he says in getting the numbers down, because we haven't heard that during the campaign, like we haven't heard any other detail behind the coalition's policies.
Okay, thank you, Prime Minister. We're going to move on from the housing policy.
There is also a good question here by somebody that said that isn't housing affordability due to a lack of wealth distribution? Yes and no. I will say this though, Labor's policy of rapidly increasing people's wages, that's what you're really hoping for in this day and age. I understand that there is like a big gap between what is affordable in Sydney and what you can earn, yeah? But the main thing that you really need to get underway is making sure that wages beat the increase in housing prices, which Labor has absolutely started to tackle. That's obviously going to be like a multi-year project, but that's one massive thing that needs to be done. And then on top of that, just giving people the opportunity of the government can own a portion of your house and they get some of the profit when you sell the house. That is a two-pronged approach that I think honestly will work in the long term. It's not ideal, but it's a solution, a tangible solution.
We negotiated an arrangement with President Biden's administration, a Liberal government working with the Democrat government, to broker a deal for the United States to share.
Look, that's the whole thing.
Nuclear powered
that
secrets.
mic
to
is
Prime
softer
Minister's
than
credit.
mine.
He was then opposition leader. Supported.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do something about that. That mic is way softer, and I'm a booming godlike voice in this one.
I don't know why. Because it's up all the way.
Okay, well, just
Maybe it's
make
just
sure
the
that's-
mic or
Can you
something.
put it closer to your mouth?
Yeah. Maybe that could be it.
Closer.
Hello.
I think it's just going to have to be there, and mine's going to have to be back here.
Right.
The position that we took. That's the first point I'd make in terms of my experience in relation to international affairs. Secondly, when we were in government during the Trump Mark I period, we were able to negotiate an exemption for Australia in a way that other countries hadn't been able to do it. Our ambassador at the moment, captain's pick from the Prime Minister, Mr. Rudd is in there, can't get a phone call with the President, cannot even get into the West Wing. And so no wonder the government's had no hope of putting Australia's case. The Prime Minister himself can't get a phone call or meeting.
PM,
Shocking.
You have, I think, asked twice now, officially requested in the last month for a conversation with the President. Has he rung you back yet? Are you expecting?
We're continuing to engage constructively.
I think that's...
This is really sad, isn't it, that we are a country so inconsequential to the United States that you have to call his reception and say, hey, can I have a meeting?
Please.
I'm sorry, the President is very busy.
He's standing around with a giant Easter bunny at the moment. He's very busy.
You can talk to JD Vance if you like.
No, thank you.
No, that's okay.
He's got the touch of death. He hung out with the Pope and then he died.
Really? I'd die too if I was hanging around JD Vance. No wonder. Doesn't that say everything about the time that we're in at the moment? JD Vance is alive and Pope Francis is dead.
Yeah.
A really important relationship that we have that was damaged by the comments that Mr Dutton made last week.
I'll just make a point, if I could, in response to that, because the Prime Minister, again, is being loose with the truth, if I'm being polite.
Dang.
The fact is that what I said, Prime Minister, which you've completely missed, is the opportunity for us to leverage in the relationship. We've got an enormous defence industry in this country. You've taken $80 billion out of defence. Our argument is...
That's just not true.
Our argument is that
that is complete nonsense.
Our argument is that we want to make sure that the American side of the equation in this discussion...
I heard this from the grapevine, that Dutton is really trying to ramp in anything he can about defence in this election. But this is the whole thing.
What do you mean ramp?
Just
in?
like that, for instance, it has very little to do with the conversation.
Right.
And he's just been like, oh, also, defence. I mean, we could use that as
Right.
leverage when talking about Trump. So he's trying to just
Right.
cram in defence anywhere
Was
he
that
can.
just a lie, the 80 million thing?
80 billion. I have no
80
idea.
billion?
I have no idea. I
Right.
don't know what they're talking about there. It's probably the same thing that they did to health and education, which is just cut the trajectory of it. You know?
Right,
But
right.
I don't know. I have no idea. I can't comment on that. But I will say the reason that he's talking about defence is they're just looking at their polling and thinking, holy hell, they're beating us on everything, even the economy. All we've got is defence. And unfortunately for them, it's not 2001. They can't do the whole
Right.
terrorists who are going to bomb
Yeah.
the Centrepoint Tower if we
Yeah.
don't ramp up defence.
Well, I mean, you know, if you said that, I'd be like, well, now I am very torn.
Yes.
Today.
Yes.
Today.
Always your choice between Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
of our country.
It's so incredible, like listening to these extremely well-versed,
Yeah.
educated, boring men and sitting there and be like, "Used to are idiots," while drinking beers.
Home Affairs Minister, the Immigration Minister.
Love this country.
I've been on the front bench of the Liberal Party in government and opposition since 2004. As I
Is
said
that
earlier,
bloke?
I've worked with 4
Who?
prime ministers,
The
and I've watched them
mediator
very
is just
closely,
like
the good and the
came
bad.
straight from
And
coaching
I've
the
learnt from
Bulldogs.
each. And I
That
believe
guy, every time I'm always like,
that
that's
we
the
have,
political editor on Channel 9.
runs
It's
on
like,
the board.
are
I've
you
got,
sure you're not a
good
sports journal?
friendship and relationship with the PNG
Ah,
Prime
yeah.
Minister.
I've got the
I
thickest
met,
neck in the world.
current president of Indonesia when he was defence minister. I had a meeting with him in Canberra when he was the president-elect. I've got good relationships in the United States, in the United Kingdom, in Canada, in Japan, and that has built up over a period of time. And I'm very proud of the connections globally that I have, and I believe not just me, but our team is highly experienced and has the ability to bring together.
He is
the
well
best
spoken, I have to
opportunity
say.
for us to
Like,
stand proud on the
he can
world stage.
string
The problem is
together
that Australia is seen at the moment with a weak leader, not just from Australians, but also from our international counterparts who see a weak leader in the lodge, and that's
Okay,
why
I'll just
families are
keep her around
suffering.
the
It is brutal in a debate to just sit there
I
and
know.
say
The Persian
weak.
opposite me is
Is
a terrible
weak.
Persian. Weak. On every level, every level. He's weak in defence. He's probably weak in the shack.
Probably has a weak shack.
Probably has a weak shack.
But look, unlike the Prime Minister, I'm not going to cast aspersions. I'm going to stick to the facts.
Yeah.
Oh,
And to bring it round, he probably shacks your Persian a week. That's your clever way of bringing it back to employment. Fuck, politics is such a ridiculous. Even though our we have our own version of America. Like America has it's the WWF, but ours is just stiff upper lip, tall poppy syndrome. That you know? Just
Yeah.
being he's weak. It's ooh. Whereas in America, it's just
Yeah.
kind of I'd lock her up and I'd chop her hands off. But it's the same principle. You know?
yeah, you're right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just more polite here, which is way better.
It's just
way
more.
better.
It's more just tradies
Barbie.
sledging each other at a
Yeah.
pub. That's what it is. It's
Exactly.
just you think you're tough shit, don't
Yeah,
you?
exactly.
It's that endlessly.
The last term of Parliament.
That's it. Thank you kindly. Now, I'll tell you what, it's fun reffing this. I mean, I'm glad I haven't had to sin bin
You need a
anybody.
whistle.
Oh hell yeah! It's the cokehead.
Yeah.
I look. I've got no evidence to say this at all. None. It's just every time I look at her face and how gaunt it is, I think, come on, she's on the bags. She is on the bags.
I think she needs to get on the bags. I think she's very tired. Her body was never supposed to get up at 4 a.m. every day.
Yeah, I know. But it hasn't for ages. She's been the host of a current
Bullshit.
affair for years now.
Oh, so she's not waking
Why
up
is she
early?
still so tired?
Oh,
I mean,
Is
a
that-
buzzer, a whistle, whatever we need. What we're going to do now, we're going to pause for a moment, give our leaders a quick breather, and when we return, we're going to turn things up a notch. Who has the character to lead this country for the next
Ooh, the
3 years?
Turn it up
Watching
a
the great debate
notch.
across Australia.
See, this
and
is it.
online.
Now we're just going to go straight into insults. Coming up next.
Because of you, by the way, I see all of those esteemed organizations and just see propaganda. Before that, I was very good, you know?
Yeah, I know this music. Finally.
Damn, Dutton ain't looking great. Okay, cool. Well, I thought it was over. It's not over. We've still got time. That's good. We've still.
And we're kicking it up a notch when we come back.
If I may, also, I do apologize for the extreme technical difficulties earlier, but hopefully YouTube won't be seeing any of that. To clarify as well, Ali is sick and away. To clarify again, I didn't know this debate was on until we were already live, so we had to set it up thanks to with the help of Jordan's editor to get it going. But anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way if it's not looking the smoothest it's ever been. But, that's show business. Ever heard of show business?
We've heard of it.
Yeah. Cool.
Um,
Speaking of,
Jesus Christ.
I think he's got enough money.
Yeah, don't you? Can we give it to someone else? Look, I
I do love the Irwins, but come on.
Yeah, but it's this royal family shit.
Hello-
We've got a royal family already. Look, listen to this. This is
Sorry, go on. Hello Fresh. Say hello.
There's some comments that we need to read out at the moment. I disagree with Dutton's inferment that Albo is perceived as weak internationally. He's not important enough to be known internationally.
Yeah, that's true.
That's so brutal.
It's true.
See, this is the slack thing about Australia. These are people that support Anthony Albanese. And they're paying him out this hard.
I think they just know our place,
And then, of course, there is the other thing that needs to be put on the record. I'm up all night eating Tracy Grimshaw's muff.
Charming.
Legend. Wish I was eating Tracy Grimshaw's muff.
Okay, we'll move on.
Miss Love, always the showman, knows how to hype the crowd. I
Do
don't
I?
think they're being sarcastic either. For
How-
once.
How am I hyping it? Am I hyping it?
I wouldn't say that, but he did. So that's good.
Sick. There's Playboy Cardi, then there's me. And I'm better and more famous and successful and hypey.
I personally think we should remain out of the spotlight geopolitically. There we go.
Who said that?
Someone.
Yeah, it's not really a bad take. Being quiet right now is not a bad thing internationally.
Albo should remind everyone of what it was like to be under ScoMo. Oh, he did today. That's a very good
Did
point,
he?
but he did. Today,
Did
he was
he?
just like, this marks the 3-year anniversary from when we found out
Sick.
that Scott Morrison
Good.
gave himself 5 ministries.
Yeah. Which is also a very Trumpian move, if I may
Yes,
say.
I would too in these troubling times. But it was great having that, and then just in the background, they've killed it with the campaigning in the background. No Labor logo whatsoever, just green, and everything is just save Medicare.
Get that red out of there. I mean,
Get
really,
the red out of there.
you should-
Nothing but
They
green.
should have been listening to me a long time ago.
You know what I was thinking? Honestly, it would be so much better if the Labor Party, as you were saying,
What's green?
if-
Green and gold.
green and gold,
100%.
green and gold.
100%.
That's what the
No
should be.
one
Green
likes
and gold.
No one likes red. What is that? Blood? Commies?
They
No one likes
deliberately
that.
make fast food chains red so that people eat and get out.
Is that right?
Yes. That's why Burger King and Macca's have red.
Why do you get
As a
out?
logo.
Why do you get out?
Because they're not you, Miss Love. Like, I know if you were CEO, you'd be like, come sit down, give a smoke off.
But what's
How
the
was your day?
No, but like, what makes the red? Why does the red make people flee?
Psychologically, it's just something that, like, when people see red around them, they're just like, yeah, gotta keep going.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, no, not for me.
Obviously, exactly the opposite. Green makes people slow
Yeah,
down.
mellow. Well, if they should just change it. I don't know what the hell they're thinking with the red. It's ridiculous.
I do know why. It is a beautiful
It's
symbol.
a commie crap.
Commie crap. What do you mean?
It's an old socialist color.
Yeah, but the reason for that is, you know
Yeah.
why it's red?
Yeah, some crap like like the Eureka machete drew first blood on this hill.
Welcome
Okay,
back
well, I
to
don't-
the great debate, getting to the heart of the
All right,
issues
you're
that
basically
matter.
just saying the Anzacs didn't
It's like
sacrifice
coming
shit.
back to
Fuck 'em.
footy. What you didn't see in the ad break.
You're lucky that the ad
both
break's
leaders
over.
frantically writing notes. PM
No, pause it.
chef?
What is the reason? Pause it.
Oh, good.
What is
Well,
the
yeah,
reason?
no, it is that, but it's not. As always, Miss Love has this profound talent of just predicting what the answer is and then really demeaning it so that you can't, like, yes, you answer it, but it's just like, oh, I was right. And it's like, yes, but not in. Let's just say this: you're not right in spirit.
Okay, so
you're factually right.
It wasn't the Anzacs. That's not what it's related to.
No, but did you know this? How interesting is this?
Eureka. What is it?
Yeah, no, the Eureka flag is in the Labor logo.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
But what's the red thing? I want to know.
Red is just to commemorate all the blood spilled of workers sacrificing their lives.
Yeah, commie crap.
See, commie crap.
Yes, yes.
But interestingly, did you know why they're called the diggers?
Because they were digging.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Because they were in the army. What? Anzacs.
But why would they be called diggers just because they're in the
I
army?
don't know why. They're called diggers in the army. That's what they call them, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know why?
No. So tradies.
No. They were commemorating the people at the Eureka Stockade.
That's why they called them the diggers.
They called themselves, Anzacs called
Yeah.
themselves the diggers
Yeah.
because up until John Howard changed our origin story to being Gallipoli,
Yeah.
they all understood that the true origin story of this country was the Eureka Stockade.
Okay, that
They
is cool.
fully understood that. And so they called themselves the diggers, and they took the themes of mateship and a fair go. And then John
Yeah.
Howard obviously saw that and was like, yeah, mateship and fair go was invented in Anzacs. But these are union
Yeah,
slogans.
Totally. No, that is very cool, but there's no excuse to keep it red.
No, you're right. Like, come on, we've got to stop being sentimental and sappy. They made their sacrifice.
I'm not saying
Lest we forget. I guess
No.
we are forgetting.
no, lest we forget, but it's a color. They didn't die for a color, That's all I'm saying.
All right. Yeah.
Apprenticeships
Time
and
to the
those
interesting
skills
part
that
of the
they
debate.
need. The universities accord. That's why childcare is so important as well. Human brain development, 90% occurs in the first 5 years. So those two
He's killing all of the talking points. It's like he's just been watching my TikToks.
philosophies are what drive my government. You need a strong economy in order to do it, and that's what we have done in repairing
I still love
so
him.
much damage from what we inherited.
Okay, I'm handing back over to you, Nine Radio's Deb Knight.
Mr. Dutton, we don't see a lot of your softer side. Do you think that your time as a
Hard
police
questions.
officer led you to have a black and white view of the world?
Deb, look, I've spoken about this publicly. I think my time as a police officer, where you see some truly horrible things. You're
He was a
dealing with,
cop.
victims of crime who are in the worst moment in their lives, and I do think you become hardened is a word that people use, and I think when you go to deliver a death message to a family whose son is overdosed, or you go to
He just does sound like a cop, doesn't he?
He's a cop. Yeah,
At this present moment in the time, they all have that
in the
voice.
vicinity of this current area, of this hemisphere in this country, on this current planet.
Of the planet in question. What other planets can be in question?
Mars, I guess.
Mars, maybe. Okay.
The moon? I mean, you know.
Yeah, I'll take that on notice, Deputy Chairman. I will double check if it was in fact Earth.
shooting or to a car accident where a child's been killed. I do think that has a big impact on you, and it certainly has on me. I've always been
Holy fuck, I never realised how much taller Dutton is than
He's a
Albo.
lot taller.
Jesus Christ,
He's
what an
a-
imposing, scary figure.
He's lifting.
He's lifting.
No, like, look, the only thing is wearing lifts.
Oh, I thought you were just saying that. Dude, I honestly think that Dutton's buff.
He's not buff. I'm just saying, like, he's put little things in his shoes to be like,
If anyone, Albo's done it.
Maybe
Look at him, this
Albo.
short little Italian man. Inside. You should be. Where is your little monkey with the accordion? It should be on your shoulder.
Wishy-washy. Do we need more of a hard man as a leader?
It's just rhetoric. Kindness isn't weakness. Kindness is something.
Yes, it is. Come on, like, what are we doing here? Just say it. Come on. Can you just say this, Albo, please? Dutton could beat you in a fight. Just say it. Just we all know it. What?
kindness isn't weakness, friendly Geordies. He's right. Okay? Now,
Yeah, you would agree with that. Look at this old softy over here. It's very true. I actually do spiritually just align more with Dutton.
You
of just
really
being like,
do.
yeah, I'm really tough and I don't really care about people's emotions at
yeah,
all.
that's right.
Something that I was raised with. We raised.
Look at him. He's just saying, I was raised as a pussy.
Yeah, like, kindness isn't weakness. Play on.
our children to be compassionate with each other.
Don't shake your head at me.
I will.
What happened to kindness?
But I think
Sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind.
Turn a $78 billion deficit into a $22 billion surplus
Yeah, bring
without
it
making
back.
tough decisions.
But how do
You
you
don't-
deal with uncompromising leaders like Donald Trump or President Xi or Vladimir Putin with kindness?
Well, no, I've managed to be firm about Australia's position. And we've managed to, for example, on China, we have repaired the relationship without compromising any of Australia's values.
Weakness.
That has been very important. We've continued
Yes.
to deal with AUKUS.
Yes.
What did I
That's
say?
your take. That we're
Some
being
people
too
don't
hard,
like that.
too weak on China.
Been way too weak on China.
Geordies.
Official friendly Geordies.
Is that- is that what you
Official
s-
friendly Geordies.
Is that what you-
double AUKUS.
Yeah, is that what you said on bloody China Today or whatever the hell it was?
I don't know how they aired me, to be honest.
Jesus.
PM, look, you've mentioned your two surpluses tonight, and if I can just take issue, the 78 billion you inherited deficit was actually a forecast. The actual number was 31 billion.
That was forecast by the former government.
Sure, but the actual number was 31. And next year you're forecasting a $42 billion surplus, which is bigger in both dollar terms and as a share of the economy. So you could argue the budget's actually in worse nick in terms of deficit. But
Could you?
I
I
don't know.
suppose you could. Yes, yeah. A guy from the Fin Review. Yeah, all right. Fucking
I'll take your word for that one. You know, as soon as they start throwing out these numbers, I'm like, who's more like Australian?
Yeah, get back to the real issues. Is Dutton a softy?
digress. Spending at the moment is running at about spending growth is running at about 6% this year.
The fin.
We talk about raising revenue to balance the budget. Have you in mind any spending cuts or any spending restraint to get spending under or back under control, back under 6%?
Well, Phil, that 2022 budget that you referred to didn't have any spending saves at all in it. We've made $95 billion of savings in our first term. We have improved the budget bottom line by some $207 billion across the board, with $178 billion less debt. Less debt, and as a result, Australians have saved $60 billion in interest payments. They're just a fact from the 2022 budget. So we have shown our economic responsibility. We didn't promise a surplus, but we've delivered two. The former government, when they came into office, promised, you would recall, Joe Hockey promised a surplus in the first year and every year thereafter, and they produced a big duck egg, zero, just deficit after deficit. And the current deficit, of course, is there, but we've halved it. We'll continue to work on savings, continue to produce value.
That's your
because
time,
we
Prime
understand how important it is.
Can I just respond to a
Well,
quick
I'll
one?
ask you a similar question,
Sure,
if I
Phil, yeah.
may. Sorry. You've talked about the need for economic surgery if you win to get the budget back under control, the deficit under control. You've told us where you're not going to cut. You've listed those areas. Any sort of clues to voters where you will be looking beyond what you've already announced?
Well, Philip, a couple of, I think, really important points. Firstly, without getting sort of too geeky in the economics of it, what's happened here is that the Prime Minister has benefited from a variation in the commodity prices. That means that the prices of iron ore and our other commodities have gone up, and that's what's given the government a bigger revenue than expected. The fact
That is partially true.
Right.
I'll pay that.
Right.
However, this guy wasn't taxing him, so.
The fact is that this government has spent
Right.
$425 billion more, and
True.
that makes it the biggest spending government in 40 years. And if you look at that scenario, that's what has led the Reserve Bank Governor to warn Australians and to warn this government that our homegrown inflation problem is of the government's making. That's why interest rates have gone up on 12 occasions. The Prime Minister spoke before about interest rates coming back. They've come back by 0.25 of 1%.
Okay, that's just... It's really annoying to unpack that, but more or less, let's just put it this way. The Reserve Bank is stacked with a bunch of pro-Liberal fogies that just hung on and refused to drop the Reserve Bank interest rates when all other major global economies across the planet were just slashing them, and they kept them going that way. So that's one of the aspects of it. And then the other aspect is, yeah, that's what happens in a cost of living crisis. The interest rate goes up.
Right.
PM, let me tell you, you are losing.
Verbal, the Reserve Bank Governor, who has not said that at all, and the Reserve Bank Governor we as the government work closely with. They of course are independent, but I expect all of the markets say, if I can put it that way, that interest rates will come down. The advice we have from Treasury is that certainly we'll continue to see economic growth in this country, and that is what we're about achieving. Talking Australia down does not assist anybody, any of the listeners at home, and it certainly doesn't assist our economy.
Mr Dutton, are there concrete savings that can come that don't push that huge interest payments to future generations?
Well, Charles, when John Howard came into power, there was $96 billion of debt from Labor at that point. John Howard didn't outline the budget from opposition, and it's not something you can do from opposition. I've been involved in expenditure review committees in government and in opposition for a long period of time, and you work through with the central agencies, with Treasury and Finance, etc., to identify where there are problems in the budget. It's no coincidence that this government delivered two surpluses right at the start of their term, and then every year into the future under their economic projections, it's all red ink, deficits every year. What they inherited from us allowed them to go into 2 years of surplus. They've blown that money, and now, of course, they've made economic decisions which, as Phil points out, have thrust us into deficits for many years to come, and that interest bill is going to be borne by the next generation, and cleaning it up will be a big job, there's no question.
We know that the last time that the coalition came to government wasn't John Howard, it was Tony Abbott, and Peter was a senior minister, and they ripped money out of education, they ripped money out of hospitals, they ripped money out of a whole range of areas. and had a devastating budget there in 2014. And now what Peter wants the viewers at home to do is to vote for him. There'll be cuts afterwards, he's just confirmed that, but they won't tell you what they are. Now, that's just not being fair income. He needs to come up with where the cuts will be, because on top of everything else, there's no plan for how they pay with their nuclear reactor plan. And we know that that will cost hundreds of...
Yeah, now that's a devastating line. I know that from focus groups. People are not going to be listening to Peter Dutton sitting there and saying, well, you know, we had more, there's just no coincidence at the beginning you got 2 surpluses after a decade of us getting... It's just like, guys, you had a decade. You had a decade and you had significantly less debt when you started. I don't know why anyone would be buying that. But of course, that's just kind of like wishy-washy. My brain starts zoning out when I hear that. Then he says, you're going to be cutting hospital, you cut education last time, now you're not even showing where the cuts are coming from, but they're going to come from somewhere because you're cutting it for your big nuclear policy, so where's it coming from?
Right.
We know from focus group testing that is devastatingly effective to the average public.
Right.
The public doesn't care at all about economic management anymore. It's really strange.
Right.
People just care a lot about services.
That's good. I mean, sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
What we've done is get nurses back into nursing homes 99% of the time. Coalition said that wasn't possible. We have literally millions of additional minutes every day being provided for people who are aged care residents.
Why was the
We've
debt so
provided
big for
a
Howard?
28%.
Why was the debt Why was the debt so big when Howard came in?
Oh, well, you know, 96 billion isn't astronomical anyway. Right. It just sounds... All these numbers sound big, don't they? But you have to
more money
imagine...
than I got.
That's true. That's very true.
Poor guy. I'm on this. No. You're the poor man that it's just like, and I'm your co-host. You're like, yeah, I really wish I could.
And we are cutting over to the undecided voter and seeing what he thinks about it. Half of his head is visible on camera.
Because she's only got half a brain. It's your metaphor. Go on. I think when we pause
all
too long,
these numbers.
I think we miss it when we pause too.
Increase in the wages of the aged care workforce.
But does the focus on younger people over older people this election, does it have anything to do with the fact that the young outnumber the older people for the first time in this election?
That's true.
No, we'll continue to talk about aged care because we're very proud of what we have been able to achieve in such a short period of time. And that turnaround, if we didn't fix the workforce, what was happening was that people were leaving the workforce because they could earn more money stacking shelves. Now, we needed to do that as a precondition.
Yeah.
In addition to that as well, the aged care workforce are being assisted by the free TAFE and training, making sure that older Australians get the dignity and care that they deserve.
Mr Dutton, welfare groups have consistently asked for increases in the base payments that welfare recipients receive in Australia. Is that something you consider, or do you believe it is still possible just to work your way out of poverty?
Well, Charles, I understand the ask and understand that people are in a very difficult situation and would want to see that increase. I don't believe that our economy, that our budget can afford to do that at the moment. And part of the reason that we want to manage the economy well, the part of the reason that we want to bring inflation down, to Deb's earlier point, not just in relation to people on unemployment benefits, for example, on New Start, but also for pensioners as well, people who are on fixed incomes. The problem is that whilst their income has fixed, their costs have gone through the roof.
Various people I know who abuse the welfare system. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, it's so true. Every time you have it, the older you get, every time it's just like, we're going to be really punishing people in the welfare system. It's just that all that floods through your mind every time. 5 or 6 people sitting there being like,
I know.
Yeah, I'm going to Wet and Wild today.
I know.
Well, you going there for a job application? No, I want to go in the slippery dip.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a 35-year-old man pushing children out of the way. Yeah. It's my turn.
Move.
Well, I think on this we can find common ground. We're on a unity ticket, and when we're in government, we introduced this scheme, and it provides support to journalism, and it provides equity in the relationship and the way in which the big companies have conducted themselves. I think particularly, not just in relation to media companies, but in relation to kids online as well. I think they just see our kids as a commodity, as a profit line online, and we've worked really hard to hold those companies to account, to provide a safer place online and to make sure that the big media companies treat our kids with respect according to the law, and that it's not this lawless zoo where our kids are being groomed or asked for photos, identities being stolen, and that's a big part of what I hope that our government can achieve as well.
Can I say as well, at the risk of bipartisanship breaking out here,
Careful.
The
We knew it was too good to be true.
the social media ban that Australia is implementing with bipartisan support is world leading. There is no question in my mind that in the lead up to December, when it comes into force, you will see major pressure being placed
They're
on
going straight to
some of
mums
these
with this
social
message.
media
Straight to
giants.
mums.
We can all agree, I think, in Australia
And
that
pedos.
social media has a social responsibility. And we
They should have called it that,
are
shouldn't
very
they?
firm on that, and
Pedo-proofing
it's one of the
Australia.
things that my government has got done.
That would have
with
played really well.
I thought you meant the great
Okay, can I
pedo
say
debate.
as a parent of young kids, I thank both of you for that.
Who's
I
more
knew
of a
we'd reached the
pedo?
point where you'd agree on something.
Which of you two do you think the Australian public perceives as more of a pedo?
Now,
And let's be honest,
Let's be
Albo.
honest. No, yeah.
It's got to be Albo. There's no way that you look at Peter Dutton and think pedo.
What do you call it?
You know what I'm going to
Call it-
bring
He looks like he honestly does. That is how I would market him. Instead of Peter Dutton, I would change my name to Pedo Hunter. And then you look at him and then you think, yeah, fuck, no, he's going to take him to task. He really will.
It's all going to go out
Probably
the window
enough.
because there is one issue you have
I don't know. Yeah, no.
very different ideas. Power, energy. Phil.
Yeah, starting with you, Mr. Dutton. The election has variously been described as a referendum on several things, one of them being nuclear energy. If you're unsuccessful on May 3, will you bend your nuclear energy policy?
Phil, we are committed to nuclear, not because it's politically
Jesus.
popular. I haven't committed to nuclear energy for votes. I committed to it because it's in the best interest of our country.
Sure.
And when you look at the top 20 economies in the world, Australia is the
this
only
talking
one
point.
that hasn't embraced or hasn't signed up to or already has
Think about it.
nuclear power. In France, 70% of power. We're paying 3 times the cost of electricity in this country.
He's doing it again. He's doing the same talking point that he did in the last debate. And you watch, Albo's about to clobber him.
Compared to other parts of the world that have
I don't know why he's
nuclear
trying it again.
underpinning renewables. We can't pretend that, as the Prime Minister and Chris Bowen keep talking about, that wind is free and solar is free. If that were the case, why have your power bills gone up by $1,300 instead of down by $275?
Fuck, they really should just call this appealing to Miss Love, the debate. What do you think?
Why?
Just sitting there and just being like, your power bills have gone up $1,300. And then you sitting there just being like, he's right.
Yeah, but you know what?
He's right.
Listening to him talk, I'm just like, that's because you haven't invested in renewables.
Really?
I've got the, it's not working.
Yeah, I think that honestly, that's just, it's straight at the heart of boomers, hey?
Yeah, it's not me.
It's not you. You're too indoctrinated by looking at wind turbines and being like, this is nicer on the
Reminds me of
landscape.
Coachella, yeah.
Yeah.
A 43% reduction by 2030. Renewables, but backed by gas, backed by hydro, and backed by batteries. And that is what the Australian energy market operator, what all the private sector investors want to do. If nuclear stacked up, there'd be a queue of people saying, we think this is a good idea, we're prepared to invest our own dollars. Instead, taxpayers are going to pay for it, and in the opposition's own figures, they
He's got the better
assess
argument.
a 40% smaller economy. That means less jobs, less investment, no aluminium industry here, no advanced manufacturing here. It is.
Yes,
it
he's
is
doing
a
the Future Made in
recipe to
Australia
take
points. Fuck
us
yeah.
Backwards. What we need to do is to acknowledge that coal-fired power stations, 24 out of 28 announced their closure when they were in government,
Please
and they
wrap
did
up, Prime
nothing
Minister.
for new investment.
Thank
Ellie, I
you.
just want to come back on a couple of points there. Under our modelling, we don't require the energy in the system because when you build a solar plant, when you build offshore wind, you need to overbuild it. This is a really important point. And again, it's difficult to explain in a 10-second soundbite, but the fact is that the reason we're paying so much for our electricity, now the reason it's 3 times the cost of other places in the world is exactly as the Prime Minister points out, at least in a moment of honesty. Their policy requires an overbuild of the system, ours doesn't. It's a more efficient way to generate electricity. The only reason people don't invest at the moment is it's against the law, which is a convenient truth that the
Okay.
Prime Minister just won't mention. So Let's
No,
have
no,
an
okay.
issue. I
I'd
wrote to the
pay.
Prime
That
Minister
could
6
actually
months
rings
ago,
true. That might be true.
offering a debate.
How's it against the
anywhere,
law?
anytime. He's never taken up that offer.
Well, it's against the law to just build nuclear power plants.
Tonight,
isn't it?
aren't we?
Here we are, and I, as Prime Minister, unlike other Prime Ministers in the past, have agreed to 4 debates. I'm happy to have debates, and hopefully, as well, we'll have one more. And, you know, I'm happy to argue the case, because what Peter hasn't been able to come up with is where the money comes from. The figures that he used before about increased expenditure include the indexation of pensions. That's what he speaks about increased government expenditure as being.
Okay, well,
He
you've
needs
both
to
had a
come
chance
clean as
for
to where the
rebuttal
cuts are.
with that question, so we might leave it there. And I've just got to say, time flies when you're having fun.
Oh.
We're almost done, so I've got a few rapid-fire questions.
Are you gonna say something
I'm gonna
nice
throw at
about
you
each
both.
other?
10 seconds,
Yeah,
as we
of course.
agreed.
I
I'll
do.
get you both to answer. Will you do a deal with minority parties?
Yeah,
Prime
always
Minister?
there's ones.
No.
Mr Dutton.
Not with the Greens, but with independents. And that's not a truthful
There we
answer.
go,
from
there we
the Prime
go.
Minister there.
Yes,
There you
It's
go.
not. The Labor Party will fall over themselves to do a deal with the Greens. That's the reality.
It's just
You preference them, they
an
preference you.
untruth put forward by Peter, who's part of a coalition. The only party that's
Hell
trying
yeah.
to form government in
Yes.
our own right is the Australian Labor Party.
Yes,
Okay,
there we
so
go.
if it's a hung parliament, it means we go back to the polls, and as long as there's not another election
So,
campaign.
Prime Minister, you won't form a government with the Greens.
No.
You won't enter
No,
into
no,
any
no.
arrangements with the Greens.
No, I won't.
Okay.
Okay,
Very
4-year
simple, as I've
terms.
said
Yeah.
consistently, as
Vote.
I said before the last election.
4-year terms, yes or no, Mr Dutton?
I support 4-year terms.
Really?
Minister?
Wait.
Yes, but
Really?
I'll never support a referendum.
Okay, what will be the first item on your to-do list if you are re-elected Prime Minister?
I've said we'll introduce legislation to cut student debt by 20%.
And
Yes.
you, Mr Dutton?
We'll introduce our 25% litre cut to the fuel tax. We'll introduce the $1,200 tax rebate. We'll provide support to first home buyers. And
Well,
we'll
you've got to
bring
do
our-
it quickly
Well, that's
because
one
it
thing.
disappears in a year.
Well,
so you'll have to get it done
It'll
quick.
take a while to clean up your mess if that's the point, and then we'll reform the energy system because the renewables only
Our
energy
changes
system
are permanent.
is
It was a
killing,
10-second
killing the
answer.
economy.
Okay, thank you kindly. Okay, look, there's been so much mudslinging this
Oh.
campaign. We know it's what they're
That's the thing,
about.
guys.
Prime Minister, you've called Mr Dutton mean-spirited and cold-hearted. What are 3 things you admire?
3. Look,
For one, this is a problem.
let me say this: he bats way above his average with Kirrily. He has a terrific family. I've had the privilege, and he clearly cares about them.
Sorry, isn't it?
and
He's just
that's
saying he's
a terrific
uglier than
thing.
his wife.
Longevity in politics. We've been in Parliament for basically the same amount of time, almost. Both been there for more than 20 years. That's an achievement. And Peter, in that time as well, has had a tough seat that he's contested consistently over a long period of time.
There you go. It was a glowing endorsement, wasn't it, Mr Dutton?
That was 2.
Now, you've called Mr Albanese the weakest Prime Minister we've had since Federation. Can you say something nice and to make it fair, 3 things?
Well, I'll start with family as well, and I admire the Prime Minister's fathership. Nathan's a great young bloke, and similarly with Jodie. I've come to know Jodie and meet her at different events, and have a great deal of
Brutal.
respect
It's
for
just
them
like,
both.
I like
Well,
people that are
We're both
around you,
punching
not
above
you.
our weight.
That
We can
is
agree on
well
that.
and truly the case. I again acknowledge the Prime Minister's support of AUKUS from opposition, and it wasn't an easy outcome, as he pointed out. He was satisfied that nuclear energy was safe, but he got that through the caucus, which was a difficult thing. And AUKUS, when we negotiated it, it was about underpinning our security for the next century. And that's 3, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what?
Sure.
The longest answers you've given tonight are saying lovely things about each other. So
Glowing.
there you go. We like it. And look, we are pretty much out of time. I want to thank you both for a robust debate. We're going to hear your final pitch to the nation. Mr Dutton, since you gave the opening statement, you will go first again.
Thanks, Ali. Well, thank you to the Prime Minister for being here tonight, and thank you to the panel, and thank you at home as well. I think this is a sliding doors moment for our country. We want to cut migration so that we can help restore the dream of home ownership. We don't want Australia's Big Australia policy, which is putting pressure on infrastructure and every part of our lives. We want
Jesus.
to cut the fuel
He's got a
tax by
tough
25 cents
job.
a litre. We want to give you
A
$1,200
cop with no
back
eyebrows.
through the
It's
tax
just
rebate.
so
We wanna make sure
against
we
the
can
Australian
fix the
spirit,
economy
isn't
so
it?
that we can
They
bring
just don't want
inflation
it.
down, bring interest
Poor
rates
man.
down, and grow.
I'll say
the
this,
economy.
it's good on him
We
that he
wanna
got a
help people
tan
with
as well.
cost of living pressures, and we want to make
Does
sure
make him
that we
more
keep
handsome.
people safe in their homes, in their communities, and also
It's
make
just
sure
such an
that our
uphill
country
battle.
can be safe in a very uncertain time. We need to also make sure that at this election we elect a Prime Minister who has strength of character and the ability to stand up for our country in a
Fuck,
very
I'm hungry,
uncertain
yeah. Are
time.
you hungry?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I believe,
sweet.
with my experience, I have the ability to say to the Australian
Australia
people,
is hungry.
I can lead our country
So
through an
good.
uncertain
It's just
time,
like, you know, the future of the
rebuild
nation. And then
economy,
you're
and
sitting
help
there
get
just
the
being
cost
like,
of living
yes,
pressures
the future.
down so that families can afford to live.
What to get.
Okay, and
Maybe-
over to you for final statements.
We are in
You
uncertain
want the
times,
future.
and this is not the time to cut, which is what the coalition will have to do, in order to pay for their nuclear plans, in order to make it clear where they want the country to go. The last time the coalition came to office, they said there'd be no cuts to education and health, and of course we know that they ripped in. This is a time for building, for strengthening Medicare, for helping to make things here in Australia, for helping to build up our schools from early childhood learning through to our schools program, which will give proper and fair funding for every student, through to free TAFE. This is a time as well where we need to
Dude,
make
TAFE's
sure
free,
we
I'm
have
going back.
serious relationships with the world from someone who's engaged and built those relationships, has a record of building
I could make a bit of
relationships,
closing statement
whether
for
it be
Albo.
with the United States, the UK, whether it be in our region in ASEAN or with our Pacific neighbours. This is a time to build Australia's future, not to cut.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Prime Minister. And that brings to an end our debate. No sign of a Medicare card, no footies, no dead fish.
And still bring the Medicare
no
card out.
stuff.
I had the footies here on Sunday.
That is true. Look, thank you so much, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Opposition Leader Peter Dutton. We appreciate your time tonight. Would you like a
very much.
moment to shake hands?
Yes, of course, please. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks,
Cheers.
mate.
Thank you.
Thank you both. And the question now is, who won? We'll be back in a moment to answer that question.
Oh, yeah, all right.
This is
Well,
the
we'll
great
Gotta watch
debate
that.
out.
Gotta
Yeah.
watch that.
and
We'll see the
exclusive
word.
on
Gotta
Nine.
watch that.
Are we doing the... Come on, are we cutting to undecided voters? Is it last time where it's just going to be a obese woman on an ability scooter and a man with an eye patch? Please bring them back. Are they still undecided?
know
Which
what's crazy?
clown is less of a clown?
You know what's crazy?
What?
That is like the majority of Australia. Like we
Yeah,
live in
obese
these.
women on scooters and eyeless cunts.
Yeah, as soon as you get out of the cities, there's
There's just a
you don't even have to get out of the cities. There's a lot of that in the cities, but like,
Yeah, but when you go out, it's just NDIS is keeping those towns afloat. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like all these people should just be voting purely on the NDIS. Like that's
Yeah, you're so right. That's how you would have done the closing statement.
yeah, been like
Yeah, Anthony Albanese wants to cut the NDIS. I mean,
yeah,
the other guy.
yeah.
That I am not.
Yes.
Yeah, that man.
Yeah, that would have gone down well.
Yeah, that would have gone down really well. Tell you what my honest to God closing statement will be, and this will be my
Tell me.
closing statement when I
When you
do
run.
the pitch on my
When you
channel.
run, no, when you run eventually.
Oh yeah. I with my track record, I can
20
absolutely
20
be prime minister without any dirt being brought up on.
Yeah,
me.
2050, you'll be what, like, I don't know, 60 something.
Just a mere. Yeah, I'd be much older than both of them.
You're just like hoverboards will be subsidised. They're like,
Sick. The hoverboard subsidy.
no, go on. What is
Every
it?
Australian deserves to
To
feel
hover.
the wind underneath their feet.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, what is it? What's your take?
no, my big thing, if I was just pitching at the end, I would just say this. I would just go, guys, future made in Australia. Let's get it done. Everybody agrees from One Nation to Greens voters. It would be sick if we started a manufacturing base back in Australia
Yeah.
where we are becoming a good Saudi Arabia. Our
Yeah.
entire export will be decarbonising the planet and
Man.
blue-collar jobs will be worth way more. We're upskilling them all with free TAFE, and it's precisely so we can build this new manufacturing base, becoming like this brand new Japan future where we have like, unbelievably skilled workforces. Like a working class that is far more educated than it is now, competitive with the rest of the world, in fact, leading the world in these technologies. We're going to get rich.
That's good.
Really, really rich.
That's good. I think look. I think that's good for your. Oh, here they are.
Here we are.
I think
Hello,
that's,
boys.
I think it's we're still alive. Did you know that? I think it's good for your channel. I think it's too polarizing for his closing statement.
Why?
Now there's your policy. Big
What?
coal plant in the background.
It's a Clive Palmer ad. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it is. It is.
We're listening.
It's
to this.
gone. It's gone.
Vote 1. Trumpeter Patriot.
It's just too. It's too. I think it's too. You got to be general in your closing statements. You know.
Why?
You just do. You catch more fish that way. You know.
Man, I am way more of the opinion that, like, if I was them, I would just be selling Future Made in Australia this whole time. Say absolutely nothing else.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, okay. Nuclear power is stupid, and that. Yeah, it's my boy.
It's Merrick. Hit it.
Check into more hotels. Hey! Experience more with Choice. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
See, why doesn't Choice Hotels
What
give
does
us
it mean
money?
to go your own way?
Is it because we say the word pedo too much?
But we kept it to a 5 pedo per pod
Dude,
policy.
doesn't he have enough money from Posca Hydrate? He needs to shill that. I'm sure Merrick doesn't particularly love that hotel chain over like Ibis Hotel. you know?
Yeah, but I don't think so either. But
He wants the
let's
money.
be honest, I don't think Pashka's doing that well. I mean, you just have this weird thing in your head of just like, but that's the only drink I buy.
It is the only thing I buy. Well, now they're having
Infrastructure.
liberal ads
Restri-
in the debate. Let's hear it.
home buyers. So together, let's get our country back on track.
Authorised by AEST Liberal Canberra.
Classic.
I haven't seen the ad so far.
and Shaker back at home.
Ah, so this is the Labor ad. And
Yeah.
in a landslide,
Yeah.
Labor wins with a 60 preferred party.
100%. Oh, that looks disgusting, if I may say so.
Yep. Still want to try it.
And another one.
We'll reduce petrol tax, provide tax
right.
relief for low and middle income earners, and deliver a strong economy with low
Where's
inflation.
the Labor ad?
So together, let's get our country
I really
back
got
on
general, like, they've got two things, and then they just go like, economy and inflation. Just like,
Where's
yeah, okay.
Where's the? I haven't seen any Labor ads, dude.
Dude, we just saw one about the blueberry swirl. Coming into Hungry Jack, thanks to Labor, strong economic management.
Here we go.
Fuck, that'd be funny if they did that. Oh.
Where's the
Okay,
stream?
it's
Just
loading.
click play. Did you click play?
Oh, now we'll never know who won the debate.
I want to know. It'll load. It'll load.
All right. Well, in the meantime, perhaps we should probably talk on this very interesting podcast.
Yes.
We've gone through yet another debate.
Well, I think surprise,
Boom, boom, boom.
Albo
boom.
won with a little addendum of where's Dan Andrews? That's my take.
Where's Dan?
Maybe we can't get the bit. Who do you think won? We only saw a little bit.
Honestly, you know what? I've got to say this.
Albo's smashing him, I think.
Albo is smashing him, but look,
He's a good,
Peter Dutton is in a bad position.
he is.
I'm impressed, honestly,
In the new
with
7-cent
how well
Isuzu.
he is able to defend himself.
I
I'm
am too.
really impressed by that.
He can hold his own in terms of he's a good he's not a bad politician. Like he can speak, he can rebut well.
Yeah, I think honestly,
Not on policy, but on like he can hold the argument.
he can hold the argument.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Another ad.
Here we are, Peter Dutton.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I think that Peter Dutton, he is smart. There's no getting around
I don't
that.
think he's a dumb person, but I think he is kind of evil.
Yeah, I mean, obvious. Look at his face. Poor fucking man. You know what? Honestly, if he didn't get that tan, I reckon he'd be in an even worse position. I seriously do.
I know. Well, so you're just going purely on looks.
I just think that that's what the Australian public is voting on. They're going to rationalise it in any way that they like, but at the end of the day, they are voting on him because he doesn't have hair. He reminds people of those skinless cats, and it's only going to be really rich female influencers that are going to like that. And unfortunately, that's not the entire population. It's most of Gen Z, but it's not all of them.
I also hate this ad, by the way. It's so annoying. They're like, when Australia is not the lucky country, no one jumps off a fucking ladder like that when they see a huntsman.
It's pathetic.
It's so pathetic. It's like, that happens in real life. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't. No one.
You can relate.
I went to my dad's house yesterday, I went to take a piss, and there was a giant huntsman next to the door, and I was just like, Oh yeah, that's how you roll. That's how you respond
Every
to the lines.
time, hey. No, don't be scared.
God, they're really going hard.
Okay, well, I don't think that.
One
I
last
think that's
ad.
the end.
One
No,
last ad.
no, dude, it's the end. They're just making us play the same one over and over again because it's not the. We're idiots. Sorry.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Now,
All right,
did
well,
you
I
have
have
any
to-
stories?
Yeah, I do. I have to change the camera back.
All right. Well, in the meantime, who do you think won? I love how I can only see the top of Miss Love's head. That's very true. Jordan, where's my hat? I don't know. Ash Gailey. Oh, what's that? You can't because it's not here. That sucks. Jordan, you should do a vid on all the political ads. I was thinking about that. I just don't know if it'll do that well. Nine has already declared that Dutton was the winner. Look, dude, he deserves one win. The poor guy.
No, he did not win that. That's rubbish.
I mean, look, it's just a back and forth of the same debate points. Just honestly.
It's the same shit, isn't it?
Fuck, 3 lib ads already.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
What?
The 3 lib ads. Wait. I need that for the segments. It's just scary that it's just like, oh, the Liberal government's like, where's the Labor one? Being like, we're coming back.
Man, if I was advertising on Channel 9, I wouldn't be wasting my money.
No point?
No point.
Really?
It's Channel 9.
So what? What does that
It's
mean?
just a bunch of
it's
old
a
cunts
number.
watching.
Channel 9 is a number. That's
Yeah,
all
but
it is.
it's a number that represents something in the demographic minds of old people. Channel 9, you're trusted source of
All right. Oh, no. Okay, so I've lost all the segments.
Great.
Okay, well, I can remember them, though.
Yeah, but
Do
didn't you have
want-
some story that you wanted to tell everyone?
Yeah. No.
No.
Yes, Posca Hydrate is one.
Yep.
Here's the first one. You want to know what happened
Yes.
with my order. I finally had the balls to be like, because I posted another Posca image, and I was like, come on, you gotta get me my Posca.
My Pashka.
And they go, so they were like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't want to sound poor here, but I really need that package. And then they were just like, we sent it. So I was like, damn it, someone's racked it. But they got it back. So they've
How did they get it back?
return address. So
Yeah, okay.
this crappy whoever, I assume Australia Post or
Shame on
Courier,
them.
shame on all of them.
All of them.
Whoever did it.
Pox
shame
on all
you
your houses, though. You're all in on this.
You're all in together, probably. And so they've sent the guy's probably just pegged it at the wall. And it's going, and it's like, well, no one's picked it up and it's taking it back. Anyway, so I've done the genius move of now. I was like, I didn't get it, and they're like, do you have another address? And I was like, I had the genius move of sending it to my brother's house, which is not genius because they'll probably drink it all.
Oh, no.
But I sent it to the.
No.
That's what I did. So now.
You're never going to see that.
I hope I do. But now they have gone. They said, also, how sweet was this? They were like, nah, good on you, mate. And they were like, there's nothing. They're funny. They go, I don't know who Mr. Posca is, but it was like, there was like, there's nothing too flash in there. Don't get your hopes up, but it'll save you a few trips to BP. And I was like, thank you, Mr. Posca. That is good. Because I buy it like every day
my
now.
name's not Mr. Poshka.
I buy a lot of Posca. So I'm literally addicted to Posca. So like, it's really scary. I'm Homer with the sauce energy apple sauce bars.
Yeah, that's it.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So Posca's on the way, waiting gleefully.
Yeah.
That's one story I had.
Okay, well, in the meantime,
Yeah.
just talk for a bit because I'm just going to order us dinner.
Oh, you're doing it? I know what you get. Oh, legend. Okay, so should I tell you the story or just talk? I'll get some more comments. God, this has been a real ramshackle thrown together podcast, and I do apologize, but thank you for sticking with us. I think my head. No, it's not. I'm not chopped off anymore. This is the best pod ever. 1 hour tech issues only. Watching ads. Listen, whatever. Like, that's how we do. Give me some. Only Miss Love drinks Posca. Give me some more questions, please. Spamming ads to trade more audience votes to win the debate. It's pretty ridiculous. It is pretty ridiculous that on a debate, a political debate, and then they go, now let's decide who won. And then they're blasting it with liberal ads during the thing of like, keep both parties in mind. Let's have an unbiased perspective. It is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's just insane. All right. Any questions, Australia? All these nerd questions. Top tier podcast. Cheers. You know, you doxed Ali. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. So I'd prefer if you did not email him. Miss Love, do you think you'll live in Sydney forever? No. I can't. I can't do it forever. It's just, I need to mix it up. But I need to get rich to do that. So go to, how do I make money? Forest Hall's Bandcamp. They take a big chunk. No, I don't even. Oh, that reminded me. I have to say that all my merch is. Dude, I forgot to. They're reminding me I have to. All my merch is sold out, and I didn't write it on the website. Where the fuck did I put the laptop? What, your laptop? I don't know, but that's all right. I'm sure it's around. I'm chilling. So no, I don't think I will forever. Do you think you'll? How much a week are you spending on Posca? Not that much. Probably like $20. Maybe more. Is it the BP at the end of the Newtown St. Peters? Yes, it is. That's the Posca I go to. And by the way, that's the guy who works there is like, he knows me now. I'm like, one of you know what? And he's like, and I'm like, have you tried it yet? And he's like, no, I haven't tried it yet. So go annoy him. Australia has become insane. No, I don't know what this hat is. Is it a Trump one? I don't know. Pedal board. You got it. Buy a house in Double Bay. Yeah, maybe I'll buy a house in Double Bay. I'll do it now. What? Miss.
Tell me the story. Tell me the story now that we're.
What's protocol? Hold on a sec. There's something about music. You have to do this. Protocol. Let's see. I'll look up protocol. Cheers. Protocol recordings.
Shut up.
Is that what it is? Okay, so the story is, because we haven't got too long left. You should sign up to. Okay, so dude, we should get the BP guy in the pod.
What BP guy?
The guy who I harassed for Posca.
Oh, you should totally do that.
Call him or bring him in.
Either or.
Yeah.
Do you have his number?
No. No.
Fuck, can you stop being such good friends with weirdos?
I don't have his number, but I know where he works. Capiche?
Catfish. Everything except the capiche part.
Okay, so Megan with the classic questions, of course. All right, so do you want what are you ordering, bruh?
I think you know.
I hope it's Yegeding.
Yegeding, yegeding, yegeding.
So, you want my story, bruh?
Yes.
How's this? And I'm telling you, this is crazy. Back in the day in high school, I played Fallout 3, right? The game. You know, the game.
Yes, I'm aware of the game.
Anyway, I got to a point where I was just stuck, and it was like near the end of the game, and it was like a like unexplainable cooked glitch, and I just stopped playing the game, right?
Mm.
You know how I've been obsessing with Fallout 4 and been playing it like I don't know how many days I've sunk into it, but days, literal days. Think about that. Maybe a week, maybe more, every hour.
A week of your life on it.
Yes.
I would beg to differ. I reckon you've done more.
Probably more. But how's this? I'm playing it recently, blah, blah, blah. I've done it again.
You've done what again?
I cooked it, dude.
What do you mean cooked it?
I glitched the game out. I broke the game.
What are you talking about? What does that mean?
It means my specific, like, genetics, you know, transferred into the video game have broken the game. I showed it to my mate and I was like, I don't know what to do here. I'm stuck. And he was like, I've never seen this before. I don't even know how you did this. And I was like, what do you mean? He's just like, you can't fix this. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you've specifically like done things in the game where you've cooked it. You can't finish the game. I'm sorry, you're going to have to stop playing. It's not going to happen. And I'm like, Okay, I broke the game again. So I've done it to 3, now I've done it to 4.
You broke the game.
I broke the game.
And no one knows how.
It can't be done.
Isn't it incredible that even when you're playing a video game, you somehow manage to screw it up?
I know.
You're incredible. You need to be studied. In an observatory, there needs to be about 50 scientists just watching you around the clock being like, I don't understand it. We put him in a completely contained hub. Oh, God, it's melting.
There's some sort of clear liquid filling it in nuclear waste. It's Posca. It's Posca hydrate.
How is it possible for one man to consume so much Posca? It's not even that carbonated. The walls are shaking.
It is that
And then
carbonated.
you just walk out.
It is that carbonated.
All disheveled. You guys have Fallout 4.
I want to start playing it again. I broke the game.
Broke it.
So what happened was, I won't go into extreme details, but like,
yeah.
dude, I've really invested a lot of my life into this, right?
So you're very upset.
I'm very upset. So what's happened is, what's happened is, it's such a complex game, right?
Yeah.
So you build like bases, and you know, like,
I'm familiar.
yeah, you're familiar, right?
Yeah.
So somehow I've conflated. I like, it's literally done a thing of like, the game designers were like, yes, well, that is possible, but I really don't expect anyone on Earth to ever do that. It's just so illogical. I think it's not even going to be an issue for the bug.
Yeah.
No one's gonna. And then I've just gone there and been like, oh, I don't see an alternative. And I've like built this base that somehow is a mission conflated with this base that conflates with this other main base that I have.
Yes.
And I've tried like every which way to sort of rectify it, but I've kind of like broken it because it's like, no one should have done that. No one should have gone to both. I know it sounds really simple, and it is really, but
How is that possible to break the game on that?
I've done.
This is like a game that I'm pretty sure this has like $1 billion chucked into it.
I'm telling you.
I'm going to check this out right now.
Fallout. I've googled this. Right in Fallout 4 glitch. There's a lot of them, dude.
Okay, but I just don't understand. Well, look, it's made by the same people that made Morrowind, right?
I think so, and a lot of those games are just screw up constantly.
They screw up all the time.
Yeah.
Look, okay, that's all well and good.
Yeah.
Still, it's incredible though that it is such a rare thing.
It's not.
See, look, they've spent $100 million on it,
100 mil. But I showed my
and it can be
friend.
screwed up by you.
But
You can break it.
I broke it, but I showed my friend. And like, he's a nerd, right? And he tried to fix. Dude, we spent like 4 hours trying to fix it.
He's trying.
4 hours we tried, and a lot of gins later. And
Okay, well, I'm seeing a problem with the method.
No. He's a nerd. We tried. Cannot be fixed.
Can't be fixed.
He was just like he was just like, I don't understand. I demolished that base. I completely rebuilt it from the ground up, and I completely changed one base from the other base. I tried to completely abolish that one and make it. He's like I can't do it. So it's fucked. So if I actually want to play the game, I have to literally be like, load last save 6 days and 36 hours ago. I have to like reload a part where it's like, this is your gun. I have to start again basically. And I'm like heartbroken because like it was a really big part of my life.
It's a huge part of your life.
Like
I feel sorry for you, miss.
I got a lot of joy out of that game. Shooting people in the head and whatnot. It's a really good release. So anyway,
man, I
just did it twice.
You
2 games.
and all of these younger brothers across the world all harking as they feel the pain of their older brother coming in and destroying the Minecraft world that they've been working on for 3 years. I really do understand this because for a man that has only work on his laptop, he has spent a lot of his life only work. He's lamenting. I spent so much time on that game. How old are you again, Miss? 35.
I think people are coming out to help me.
God, I'm jealous of your life. How are they helping you?
I think they're like sympathizing with me. They're saying like, Oh, someone's saying, "Oh my God, be specific, Miss Love. I could probably help you, dude. You can't help me. You can't help me. My friend who has every metric in the game and finished it 3 times has cheats for it.
Yeah.
He was like, I can't do this. It's
Nah.
a glitch. Dude, it was like this. It was like, we just need to be, it was literally one of those things where it was like, okay, you need to build this reactor.
Yep.
But there's this other, because you clicked attend, because you started building something on another mission on another base, the game has been like, why has he done 2 bases? And they've just glitched. And it's literally one of those things where it's like, I've built all this stuff. I'm like, it says it's ready to go. And it's literally, the crux is coming up to this like, this black guy called Tinker Tom, who's like building this reactor for like the big last mission. I was up to the last.
Oh my God,
mission.
I didn't know that.
Do the last
Yeah,
mission
okay.
of the game,
Yep.
where you have to time travel to this thing. He was like, I built this whole base. And this guy's like Tinker Tom's like ting ting ting, and I'm like clicking him, and it's one of those things where it's just like, you should be saying, let's go, let's do it, let's time travel. But instead, all he does is like, man, all I need is just one reactor for this. And I'm like, it's built. You've built it, and then every time you click, it's like, yep. It's exciting. All I need is that one piece of that reactor. And then it's just like, I really need that reactor piece. And I'm just like,
Jesus, the pressure, because he keeps, oh my
Tink.
God, he's debotting, and he's like coming up, man, and you've put all of the game's effort into creating this AI bot that you've created AI accidentally while it's just being like, where is it, man?
I know,
Where is it? Like, you
I
shouldn't have
know.
that many phrases as an NPC character.
I know, it just keeps
Come on, man.
And it's just like, I just need that one piece.
Dude,
and it's just,
Miss Love has entered the Twilight Zone.
yeah. And we even freaked out.
I mean, honestly, if that happened in real life, I would be so scared.
Yeah, dude, he was I made it my own Twilight Zone. And dude, at one point, there was this thing where it was like, you got to go to this. There was another thing where it was just like, okay, there might be a way around this. There's another mission they're all kind of interconnected, but there was another one where it was a robot. My friend was playing. And the robot was just like, go and talk to her, which means it's a mission, right? And I go and talk to her, and then like a mission ensues, you're given options. But all that happens is like, I think that we're doing very well in this. And I'm like, where's the options? This is a mission. They're like, I think we're doing very well. And then my friend just lost it. It was like, just killed them all. Just killed the whole base. Just killed them all. And I was just like, okay, he's a lot more frustrated even than I am. And just killed the whole fucking, my whole like crew. And then I think it was a matter of like, all right, now we don't need them. And you know what happened? You know what happened? Are you listening?
I'm listening.
I
don't want to listen.
I went
but-
back to my main base because that was kind of like, all right, we'll sacrifice this base that's tethered. We're
God,
trying
this is so weird. Like, it's making me uncomfortable.
yeah,
it's making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, we're trying to troubleshoot my game, right?
Hang on. Sorry, I'm on a podcast. I'll call you later.
Oh, sweet. That wasn't the Uber Eats guy, was it?
I'm not going to say to the Uber Eats.
Well, I don't know
now.
how-
I'm very busy listening to Miss Love talk about his video game.
Well, you should have. Anyway, we've slaughtered my whole other. They're called the Railroad, which is like you have to choose your like platoon kind of thing. Anyway, and I really regret not choosing the Minutemen because the Minutemen wouldn't treat me like this. But I went with the Railroad, and anyway, because of all your labor propaganda, like we built this town. I'm like, I guess I should go with them. And they stabbed me in the back like all commies do. But basically, we slaughtered them. Went back to the main base, which is you have to build a lot of stuff. It's like water, defense.
Don't tell me you
wood.
killed the black guy. That guy. It's entirely his fault. You're one ticket out of all
Tinker
of
Tom.
this.
His name's Tinker
Tinker
Tom.
Tom.
No, I didn't do that. But it was way funny then. I was like, okay, we've sort of slaughtered this one team. Maybe now that we have like separated the mission, like we've killed them all, so there is no mission, right? The mission's gone, right? Anyway, guess what happens? We just like, stroll back into base, like, just stroll back in, really hoping that it's just like, they're not going to know anything about this. It's all the way on the other side of the map. They're not related. But, the thing is that, like, because I went with the Railroad, they were like, we'll send all our technicians and, like, free people to your base. So, like, they were the Railroad. So I walked in, and as soon as I saw one of them, they started shooting me, and I was like, no. And then the whole platoon started to kill me. Like, 100 men just been like all races of things, like gargoyles, robots. Just, I was like, and they just killed me. So, like, there's no way out. So I think I'm gonna have to Fallout 4.
So good.
Fallout 4.
How do you have a misadventure playing a game? A game. It's like Destiny. It's like there's a point A and there's a point B, and then somehow you just get the entire game to create consciousness and to just be like, no, we have to get rid of this glitch. This is the glitch in the Matrix.
The glitch is me.
You are the glitch. You're the glitch in the game. But it also makes me think maybe 100 million isn't enough. We need to chuck another 100 million on it to mislove proof it.
Another 100 million and good luck. So basically,
How is this possible? You fucked up a game.
I know, dude.
And the thing is, what's even more impressive is you don't know shit about electronics or computers or anything.
No. And I did, dude, this happened to me in Fallout 3 15 years ago.
Oh my God, Miss. Look, it's always just this weird combination with you of like, I don't know whether to be proud or ashamed of you. I really don't.
I don't either. Someone said play New Vegas instead. Apparently that's really good, and I will, but I'll just glitch that too.
Yeah, I know.
So
totally.
I think, but
it can't be as long as the other one, please.
Oh shit! Someone said, "Bro, I mod Fallout. I know how the engine works." Well, tell me. You tell me what to do. For someone, it's not on PC. It's on Xbox. Yeah, if it makes you feel better, it's an open secret Bethesda half-assed bug testing because they know the community will do it. Try the give item command though. How did you stock it's just Fallout 3 was a lot less romantic. I got stuck in a room. I couldn't leave. And my autosave was I didn't have any autosaves that were out of the room. So I was like, you have to kill the person behind that door. And I'm like, open the door. And it's like, I'm stuck in a room forever.
Fuck me dead. Fuck me dead.
So anyway.
This just keeps getting more and more horrific. It's like all of these awful nightmares that I would have.
I know.
That's what you've done to the game. And everyone trapped in it. They're just trapped in a nightmare world because of your, let's just be honest, buffoonery. There's no other way to describe it. It's just like you really can't be trusted. It's just such a metaphor for your life. How did you do this?
I should never have a family.
You can't do it. It's all just like the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah,
There's never been a better example of it.
I know. So basically, look, anyone tell me in the YouTube comments if you think you can help. But I'm telling you, my friend who he doesn't mod the game, but he knows a lot of cheats in it. He knows a lot of he does know mods and stuff. And he was like, there's no way out of it. There's just no way out of it. I tried every way. So I think what I'm going to have to do is literally start the game again, dude.
Yep.
God damn, it's a lot of missions. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really want to find out what happens when you get to the Institute. The whole game is like, we have to follow this man like hours and hours and hours to get to the Institute. You got this guy, and you got the Kellogg's pistol. Follow him to lead to clue to the Institute. Go to the underworld of this world. Do a million missions. Find different factions. Do a lot of missions to earn their trust. Do build up your base. Literally physically build it. Get all the resources. Do all this stuff. Get armor. All this shit. I'm completely underdoing it to get to the Institute. All the stories about the Institute. Dream sequences about the Institute. How we're gonna get to the Institute. God, I've dreamt about the Institute again. Figuring out how to get to the Institute. A guy, Tinker Tom, going, "What's that one last piece puzzle to get to the Institute to find your son? We just got to get that last piece puzzle. It's that last piece puzzle for the Institute." Never got to the Institute. Just a metaphor for my life. Close but no cigar.
Yeah. It's fucking brutal, dude.
Yeah.
That is, I don't like any of that story, I've got to say. None of it, not one piece.
Yeah.
God, I feel sorry for you, man.
Thanks,
it was just, can a guy get a break? Just one.
It's
has anyone got any solutions for you?
Someone said, I hope the Oblivion remaster gets rid of some of the bugs. How do you not have a save before you started? I do have a save, but the thing is, I have heaps and heaps and heaps of saves, but it's like 5 days of worths of saves before. Listen to this. You'll find this interesting.
Yeah, no, I am listening.
There's 5 days, which is infinite, worth of saves before the Institute, right? Because there's a lot of side quests. It's mainly side quests. There's a shit ton of missions, right? So what I did was, 5 days of playing was like I was up to this mission. There was this glitch, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm sure it'll all work itself out. In the meantime, I'll do 100 side quest missions. There's nothing else to do. I'll just do all this side quest mission, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I can go back to a save before this institute thing, but I would obliterate 100 missions worth of work that I'd done because I was avoiding this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Do it. Do it, miss. Come on.
God.
You've never committed to anything in your life. It's time for you to grow up, be a man,
and play this
video game.
But how can I just? How can I just? So you're saying I should just? What's the word? Like not substitute, but just basically eliminate, completely bypass all this work I've done for the main.
For the cause.
For
the cause.
I won't even have like the guns. Dude, I won't be equipped.
No, you're at a handicap, I'll tell you that.
Dude, I won't be equipped to do the mission. Because the whole point of getting...
It's a suicide mission, I tell you.
The whole point of getting to the institute is like, okay, you're extremely stocked up with guns because you've been playing this for a long time. So I'll get there with a fucking pea shooter, like, into the teleport. Like, that's what you want me to do.
I think we all want you to do it.
I have to do it.
You have to do it, man.
But it's just like, dude.
Please.
It's going to be... I'm screwed.
You're screwed. You're absolutely screwed.
I also don't have power
no
armor.
one to blame but yourself.
I don't have power armor. Do you know how important that is?
See, now
very
you're just
important.
getting weight. Yeah, there we
So,
go.
like-
do you have any idea what I've got to do?
But this is the crazy thing. How did I screw myself? No one knows.
That's the incredible part. I'm really amazed by that. No one knows.
And guys, I know
true mystery.
I know everyone's like, oh, I might be able to figure it out, but I'll just like my mate who knows is a huge nerd and finished the game. He kind of knows. He was like, you've accepted, like it was like a dumb decision. I think it was like accepting a mission for this base. It's just like 3 wrongs have just like 3 things. Have
Yeah.
I can't explain it, you know.
Nah, me neither, man. That's tough. That is tough.
I don't know what else they're saying. Commands Xbox are fucked. Quick save a bunch if you're on Xbox. I've explained that. Who here is a synth? Save early, save often. I did save early and save often, but I've been sitting on this mission for like a week. So like I like there was that like I can't like it's like if I go from a day ago, it's not gonna. I have to forego a whole bunch of shit leading up to this to get to where I need to get.
Fucking brutal.
Yeah, so I hope that
Brutal.
answers your questions. You got to spend days trying to find. You've spent days trying to save 5 hours worth of gameplay. I've been playing for days at a position where I can't go back. And it's hard to explain. It's a point of no return with the mission. I just go there and they're sort of like, you got to keep doing. We can time travel. I'm like, still. It's better than starting again. Yeah. Are you at the end of the game or the midsection where you? Oh my God! Don't say it. They're saying I'm up to the. They're saying I'm halfway through. They're saying I'm halfway through.
That's hilarious. Oh, but look. Now that I think about it, okay, that's hilarious that you've spent your entire life on this and you're not even close. So there is a cruel irony of that. Yeah, but your standards rushing it. So, you know, probably better if a slug was playing the game. But I will say this. At least it's not as bad as going through the whole thing.
That's true, but yeah. Miss, the best thing to do would be to install the unofficial Fallout 4 patch.
Yeah.
Dude, maybe this company shouldn't make a game, or maybe they should have a fucking warning on there saying you need patches and mods to play the thing. I bought it too. I paid for it. It's like, maybe don't release a game that maybe it has to work.
Yeah. And also, like, that's incredible that they do this from now on and it's just accepted because there's just so many whiny auditors out there just being like, just release the game. And then they bring it, it didn't work. And they go, oh, sorry. Okay, here's the patch. It's an amazing way to double up on cash. I'll say that. And
evil.
they're kind of I don't think it's evil. I think they're justified because their audience are fucked. Imagine having to please all the fat neats in the world.
What's a neat?
No job, education, or training.
Oh, God. Yeah, but dude, there's so many games in the world. Like, I don't get it. It's very frustrating because it's a great game, you know? Anyway, what's the time? Yeah, we're definitely over. So thanks for... Yeah, the acoustic nerds can't help themselves from purchasing broken games. I'm a gamer, and I have a full-time job. Well, that's rare. They can't even fix it. Their latest updates that they timed with the Fallout TV show just made it worse. Did you hear that? How are you okay with that? They can't fix their own glitches.
That's incredible. All right, so at least, Cyberpunk turned out to be a better game than Fallout 4. I would have never have got that.
Do you have a beef teller story? No. Quick update on Brent Hines before you go. You know what the update of Brent Hines is, dude? I think the same as if I left this. He was probably like high and mighty for a week, and now he's just like posting Mastodon stuff. Being like, wasn't that a good time when I played Download? And now come and see my local psychobilly band in Atlanta.
Yes.
Quite sad, isn't it?
It's pretty sad. But nonetheless, hilarious. So I'm as always, just very, very proud of you, miss. Half finishing a game that you thought was already over and breaking it.
Guys, thank you for joining us. I'm very sad now.
You should be sad.
Join us on the Up Late podcast. We're going to eat some food hopefully soon because I'm starving. Join us on the Up Late where we will, wax lyrical, probably more about Fallout 4. Apologies for Ali's absence. He's ill. Apologies for the absolute shit fight earlier. YouTube. I think they'll like it. We did the political stuff. Two-ton. We'll see.
Two-ton, son.
We'll see you.
Two-ton.
We'll see you next time. All right. Oh, you probably should keep talking.
Oh, should I?
Yeah.
Two-ton, son. Two-ton.